It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM, and let's have a look at great Flinders football now. Some really interesting results in the A-grade comp last weekend. Chris Prime joins me on the line to help us go through a few of them. Primey, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Reed, and they're interesting from certain clubs' points of view.
So interesting from the competition's point of view too, with what it's done to the ladder, but we'll get to that in a moment. But first of all, before we talk about the A grade, what about Tumby Bay's B grade? How did C Prime go? Did he stroll around and kick any goals?
Oh, I had a little bit of a stroll, yes. I think that's probably even better than jog. And ended up with 3. Yeah, probably should have kicked 5 or 6. I think the left boot might have been on the right foot.
Okay, well, I see F. Fiore kicked another 5, and he's only played the 7 games. He's up to 49 for the year, so he's probably not going to get to the 100 because he's going to run out of games to play.
Yeah, look, and that will probably be his downfall. That we only played the 14, so it will take a bit of work from here. A bit over 7 a game, so 2 a quarter. We'll see how he goes.
All right. Well, let's get to the A grade now. We've got to talk about, first of all, your boys, Tumby Bay. They struggled against Lock, flogged them in the B grade, as you just talked about there, but in the A grade, completely different story. It was Lock 11-470, Tumby Bay, how about this, 3-15-33. As a goal kick in Primey, that would just rot your socks, wouldn't it?
Oh, look, it did. I think through the game, like Tumby had probably better than 50% of the play, but just once again, just couldn't finish that last kick going forward. And a lot of the shots were snaps or rust kicks rather than set shots. And I think we kicked 7 points in the second quarter when we had all the run of play and to 1 goal 1. And even at the start of the third, I think it was 4 or 5 points, and then Locke took it down and kicked a couple of goals. And it just breaks the back of like you're fighting. Yet we're doing this, and you just can't finish it on the scoreboard. And then I think when Locke took it down there, I said they'll kick this one, and sure enough, like straight through. And so I think the flow of the play probably had it a fairly even game, but Locke kicking straight's good footy, and I think the first game of the year was probably the other way around, where Locke couldn't kick straight and Tumby did, and that got us over the line, so it's 1-1.
There you go. Yep, 1 goal, 9.5. You don't deserve to win, but at the end of the day, well done, Locke. They needed that. We'll get to the ladder in a moment. Let's have a look at Ramblers, who did what they had to do against E United, who put a little bit of scoreboard pressure on, but nowhere near enough. Ramblers 21-11, 137. E United 6-13-49, probably the most scoring shots they've had all year, but certainly not enough to get close.
No, look, I think they were leading at quarter time. And look, once again, they got out of the blocks, 4 goals, and just the ability to keep that going. And that's where that's the depth. Like your players, not necessarily running out of puff, but you're asking so much from all the players, and they give what they can, and then the opposition just runs over them, and unfortunately that's what happened Saturday.
Well, it did, but look, how about this for a quarter of football? Incredible in the second quarter here for Ramblers. 11 goals 4 to 1 goal 1 in that quarter alone. Take that quarter out of the equation, and it was a fairly competitive game, but that's the Saints in a nutshell at the moment. They just disappear for periods of time, and the opposition go berserk on them. Yeah, look, and that's the hard thing with footy, isn't it? Like, it's not about 20 minutes, it's about 80, 90 minutes of footy. So being able to match it for 20s to start, and it's normally only 10 or 15 minutes that decide games, and that showed Saturday. All right, last match of the round, and we expected it to be the match of the round, and as it turned out, it kind of was. Was at Kapini. It was Cummins Kapini Cougars doing the hosting, with Elliston Districts having their first trip to Kapini, pretty close to their home patch, so it makes sense that they would play here. But it was the away side, Elliston Districts, getting the job done, 8-10-58 to Cougars 6-4-40. That's an important win for the Rooster crew. Oh, look, it is, and pretty dour affair, really. 8 goals to 6, and 2 classy teams that definitely were probably both desperate for the win, and Elliston Districts come away with the chocolates. So, they'll cement themselves in second spot. All right. So, well, let's have a look at that ladder. The Eagles well on top, 16 points. They're undefeated. Elliston Districts now 6-2 and 2 games clear in second. Then comes the log jam. So Let's have a look at it. From 3rd to 6th, there is nothing between them, just one game and a little bit of percentage. Lock, 3rd at the moment. Tumby Bay, 4th. They're both on 4 wins. Then we go Ramblers and Cougars, both Cummins sides at the moment outside the top 4. Can't remember the last time that was the case. They're both on 3 wins and chasing Primey.
Look, they are, and it makes every week a very important game from here on in. At the midpoint of the season, a lot of years where the final 4 is sort of set, and it's going to 7 sides. It comes a little bit harder to lock in that 3rd and 4th spot. So the next 7 games for each and every club will be very, very important.
All right. The Saints, of course, at the bottom of the ladder, yet to trouble the scorers for a win. But they're edging closer. If they do create an upset at any stage, I've got a feeling that if they are to win a game, that's going to create some havoc in that race for 3rd and 4th. That seems to be where a win might come from for United, but they seem a long way off that, Primey.
Look, they do, but they're putting together better passages of footy. Like they're playing, they're staying in games longer. So, there is some positives there. And, just, you build on that, and you never know when you're a young side and you get your tail up a bit, like things can happen.
All right. Well, it's not going to improve any on the ladder this week for Cougars, who have the bye. So they can't get an extra win at the moment. But I don't think Ramblers can either. They're going to face off with the mighty United Yolana at Cummins Oval. The Cummins Oval won't scare Yolana off at all. I think they'll beat Ramblers.
Look, I think so, yeah. Look, it's, once again, like every week, every game's important, and, this one will be equally so. So the Eagles are just, they travel pretty well, and they're just a hard team to match up against. So, yeah, look, I think they'll come away comfortably with a win.
Yeah. A couple of local derbies to finish off with. First of all, Tumby Bay and Air United for the 3rd time this year. You're playing at Tumby Bay. You've won the last 2. I can't see you losing this one.
Look, we should go in as favourites. But, yeah, look, it's one of those things. If you give a side a little bit of a sniff when you're not right on the ball, then you give them a chance to stay in the game a bit longer, and they get the tail up. So, Tumby should come away with the win, and, yes, they'll need to keep their final 4 dreams alive, I believe.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the next game will go a long way to deciding top 2 and top 4 aspirations. Speaking of local derbies, Elliston Oval will see the hosts taking on Lock. So I guess it's a local derby of sorts. Elliston Districts probably deserve the right to start favourite.
Look, they do. They're sitting second, and I think clearly have been clearly in the top 2, like I've seen throughout the year. So, and yeah, look, Lock's a good side, but I think Ellison District's depth all over the ground will allow them to take the win. All
right. There you go. Round 11 of matches in Great Flinders football coming up this weekend. Primey, pulling the boots on again?
I haven't had a look at the forecast to see if it's raining, but the cold weather's starting to get to me. So, if it gets too cold, I might just have to go up by the heater, by the bistro there at Tubby Bay and stay warm up there, and maybe just shout support to the bench while the B grade's going on.
Fair enough.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with you next week to have a look at that, how you went and how everything's going in Great Flinders footy, mate. Look forward to that. All the best. We'll catch you next week.
No worries. Thanks, Reg.